Hey, hunting family, you are tuning into the Tracks and Tackle podcast, brought to you by Menser Outdoors.
Hey hunting family, are you tired of old squeaky garage door ruining your day? Well, say hello to our newest sponsor, Interstate Garage Doors. Whether you're a hardworking contractor, building homes, or a homeowner in need of an upgrade, Interstate Garage Doors has you covered. With their down-to-earth expertise and top-notch service, you can trust the Interstate team to get the job done right. So why settle for anything less? Head over to igdoors.com today and experience the difference for yourself. Big thank you to Interstate Garage Doors for supporting the Tracks and Tackle podcast. Remember, when it comes to garage doors, Interstate is the only way to go. And today, we are going to be having a representative from Interstate, actually a great hunting buddy of mine. Haven't sat down and talked with you, and we're just talking, man. You got a boy that's probably 2 years old, and I haven't been over since before he was born. So we're going to get after it today, and we're going to bring onto the show Justin Barrick, who is representing Interstate Garage Doors, and we're going to be talking turkey on today's episode. Justin, how are you doing?
Doing all right.
Hey, why don't you just, I try to give you a little bit. Justin's the kind of guy where you think you're the coolest guy in the room, and then Justin shows up. You ever see that meme? You know, you think you're the coolest guy in the parking lot, and then this guy shows up. Well, Justin's that guy. He carries himself really well, and it's just a blast to be around, and all around just fun to hang out with. So appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to be with us tonight. But why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, first of all, bar set pretty hot with that.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm just, just kind of a redneck country.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, just grew up like a lot of people did around here, just in the country. Kind of grew up in a small town. As a kid, that would be begun with the recurve, fishing pole, whatever. Just my whole life, it seems like that's been the thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wired together. Just really kind of enjoy it, need it. Always have loved it, and now got a family, got kids,
Passing it down.
Try to do that. My kids have been pretty fortunate so far. Getting to the point where it feels a little unfair how lucky they've been.
One of the things, because we don't talk that often, or we haven't recently in the past couple of years, and one of the things that I enjoy is when I see a picture of one of your girls, holding a bird, or they just killed a deer or something, and I see something posted where they're successful, that they've had better luck at hunting than I have.
Yeah, I'm just here thinking, his kids are growing up. He's looking for someone else to mentor. I can fit into a youth fest.
Well, that's something I've always, my oldest daughter's 13. I got a 10-year-old girl and a boy that's 32. But before my kids, I coached wrestling for a lot of years, and I had a couple, kids that I took out on youth day, and his little brother then, whenever he was too old, his little brother was old enough to hunt, and it's just always something I've enjoyed doing, sharing it. And my family, my brothers are the same way. I got a brother that's 4 years younger than me, and a brother 5 years younger than me. And my brother Josh is always, every year he's left hunts in Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
when we're all out hunting, to come home and take somebody's kid hunting. So it's just, it's important. It's something we love to do. And I think, it's just about being out there doing it. So, taking another person's kid out, it's almost, it's just cooler to
Rewarding.
see them get to see those things that you enjoy so much. And yeah, when they get something, it's feeling's not different. And then when it's
There's
your
nothing
kids,
better.
it's just like, man, it's just different. So but yeah, the girls have been. Lily's killed 4 turkeys now, and again she's 13.
Just think of that. That's a pretty good success rate.
Right.
Addie,
But you got a good group that you're running with. That's what happens.
yeah, well, and that's I mean, everything you hunt, opportunity is I mean, if you've got the ponds that got big fish in it, and you're gonna love fishing.
That's right.
If I've always been very fortunate the places we've got it. We do a lot of state land hunting, but we've got a farm in PA that I've been lucky to hunt since 2008. It's just different, Never really had a place for deer where it's great, amazing.
Yeah, that honey hole that
Yeah.
everybody wants.
So people ask, if you'd ask me, I would, if you gave me the opportunity to travel in spring, hunt turkeys across the nation, or hunt the fall for deer across the nation, I would pick the spring. That's what I would enjoy to do. What I prefer to do. Turkeys don't fill the freezer, so deer hunting is extremely important.
Yep.
We don't buy red meat, so our meat for our family is deer.
Yeah.
So that's important. But if I've hunted places for deer and seen big bucks every year, and it might be, but didn't, was just hunting state land for turkeys all the time. It might be a different thing, but I just know, turkeys is really, really enjoy it, and it's great for the kids because it's not freezing cold out. It's not, you don't got to sit and.
Springtime's nice, man.
Yeah.
They're all waiting for it to come around.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Hey, listen, before we get into it too deep, I want to touch on, interstate garage doors. You guys coming on board, giving us a little bit of love. And so I want to make a mention of that. So if you want to talk a little bit about your role, what you guys do, I know sales, service, and parts.
Yeah, so we do sales, service, installation, commercial, residential. And I mean, the company's been in business. We've been interstate since 95.
All right.
I've been there since 05. And really was just it was the thing until the next thing. At that point in my life, I guess it was just, you're just getting by. Really.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do to, keep things going until I can get out there hunting? So, and here I am all these years later, and it's just great people, very.
And you guys service, and you guys service the 81 corridor.
Essentially, yep. It kind of 81 and then 70 like that, Frederick, but 81 from up above Harrisburg down to Martinsburg, and we'll go farther. It just depends on the situation, but yeah, we got a lot of trucks out on the road, and we're just
good group of guys. I mean, of everybody that I've met, I know you and some other guys that do work with you, and you guys are all salt of the earth. So great partnership. I want to make sure that we got that front. The second big question that I had before we dive in and start talking hunting too much is, how are you liking Tracks and Tackle?
I like it. I've been, I listen to podcasts a lot. I listen to a lot of Mike Chamberlain stuff, the Turkey Doctor.
Yeah.
If you want to know turkey stuff, that's as far as the biology and stuff, that's where you're going to go. I listen to a lot of that. But I've been listening to Tracks and Tackle stuff, and it's cool.
It's different because when you know the guys.
Yeah, similar upbringing to yourself.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think sometimes you see somebody on Instagram or whatever, and you don't know anything about them, and automatically it's this, on the internet, social media, all that.
Yep.
Part of the problem with that is anybody can seem like an expert.
Yeah.
So you get kind of that vision, but I mean, just like you always say, go into a room, you don't have to know anybody. Hunter's going to be able to talk about stuff, and
That's right.
and that's all it is, and it's cool. And I mean, you don't have to be part of it to enjoy listening to stories, because you had stories similar to that. You can picture it happening as they're saying it.
That's the idea, really. Is if it's relatable, then you can attach yourself to it. So when someone's telling a story or sharing a story, and I'm like, well, I've had something similar like that happen, then I can connect them to that. So that's what we're doing. We're just making some memories, and it's cool when you start talking to people, and then because we just started like not even a year ago, doing the podcast, and people are starting to find out that we're doing it. And, I always say there's somebody out there smarter than me. So the whole goal is to bring those people on
learn from them.
that are smarter than us to educate us and educate our listeners as well. So, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Hollywood, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. Just getting off work. Glad to be in the studio. I know we're still working on formally calling a studio home, but the setup here we got's great. We're able to sit, Tommy, cozy. Just excited to be here with Justin and pick his brain about turkeys.
Yeah, we were hanging out last night, and he was pretty pumped. Pumped about meeting you. I like I said, I've been lifting you up here, legendary status until you meet the person. You can talk someone up, but then once you meet them in person, then they got to live up to it. Well, all right. Well, listen, we brought you on to talk turkeys, but you got this connection with the outdoors like we have with the outdoors, and want to just sort of discuss what draws you to nature and how it influences your hunting practices. I'll turn the mic over to you and certainly let you share your thoughts.
Well, again, like I said, we talk about it, just kind of sort of in. My earliest memories are being a babysitter and having to come pick me up to go to deer.
Yeah.
Like that. Other things happened at that time of my life, I'm sure. But what I remember is that. Like, I don't, what made it happen? It isn't like you can specifically teach somebody to love something like that. It's just it's just in you, and so that's it. Always, my dad built wings for race cars when I was a little kid. So like out in the garage, I'm flinging arrows at a target while he's building wings, and you have fun shooting the target out, and then you're wanting to go out and kind of see what you can hit. And it's just fun. So I think that's how it starts, and then it all just grows. And the kids now, as a parent, I can't put it all on them, pardon me, but the amount of time that your kids spend with their face in a computer, a tablet,
screen time,
kind of like, man, it's just, it's a bummer. But we didn't have that. We had, I don't even remember what game system we had. And like the game I played, like Tecmo Bowl, but like Bass or Black Bass, whatever the game was, and that was when you couldn't be outside actually doing that stuff. So I think that's just how it's kind of how we grew up. It's easier to be that way. So that's we're fighting today because all of this stuff, the screen time, it's instant gratification, it's all right there. They can look up whatever they want, they can watch whatever they want, it's all there. Us, we were outside trying to figure out, okay, what can I do with this stick?
Yeah.
Where,
I was thinking like when you
have fun.
Yeah, I was thinking whenever the first bow, and when I started flinging arrows, I didn't even have a bow. It was basically probably some balsa wood with a handle and a grip and some nylon tied to it, just a child version of a recurve and some old arrows with blunt tips, and it just, you got into it at a young age because it was modeled for you. When you grow up like we did. So
different time. So that's what we had to do. We were out there. That builds what you do.
Yeah. A lot of parents nowadays, and I get it. Like, you had a long day at work and you want some you time. Real easy. Just hand the tablet, let the kid stroke. Instant gratification, as you brought up, but it takes away from just the enjoyment of reality, if you want to use that word.
And it's, things that you can't necessarily, like when I was a kid, on a bike,
we could go.
Like when it's time to eat, when I'm hungry, I'll be back. When whatever, fishing pole, whatever. Now that you can't, like I can't let my daughter just get on a bike and ride 3 miles up the road to the lake. You know what I mean? Like
it's not the same.
It's a different world, and and it's a shame that it's that way. But some of it is that, and you got stuff around to do around the house. It's just not. It's not as easy to say there's a mound of dirt out there. Go,
Sure. Yeah.
It's just So it's kind of an innocent thing, Paw Patrol. I got to get the stuff done, But yeah, it's just it's a different deal.
I was talking to a guy at lunch today, and we were just talking about how far technology's come. And I know we're getting off the hunting subject, but it's a reality of the world that we're in. And the message really is we want to encourage outdoor activity. But I was just saying, like, think of my grandparents, like they were on a farm didn't have electric in the house or running water in the house, and you went out to the pump for water, and they were horse, mule, plow. There was automobiles existed, but they didn't have that.
Yeah.
And but they went from that to a space race. Seeing rocket shuttles being launched into outer space in their lifetime, which to think about that's incredible.
Wow.
But our kids that are growing up nowadays, the technology's moving so fast. Like in the next 10 years, it might not even look like it looks today.
Yep.
So it's interesting, but when you got folks like us growing up the way that we have, I know that you're passing it along. Yeah. I mean, you get them outside, you get the stink blown off of them, and you take them along, and they end up really loving that time outdoors.
Yeah.
And they got something that their friends don't have.
Yep.
Memories.
Yep. My girls love to do it, and they're, the girl boy thing. Obviously, I grew up. I was a boy with brothers. We did boy things all the time.
Yeah.
This whole Barbie's all over my house thing, new thing. Was a new thing.
Uncharted territory at first.
You don't really know. I don't know what they're going to want to do, and you don't want to force feed it, but like put it there. And I've been lucky for the kids to take it. They love being out there, and it's Lily, the Maryland youth, when we hunt, we're hunting public land and we're hooking it, and I mean, 3 years ago I think did like 8 miles in 2 days. We killed a bird. Didn't come close to killing a bird really. Last year killed our bird last minute. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but like we walked 10 miles. That and she's there every step of the way. Not a word, just right with me. So happy, proud, and blessed, and whatever. But I think that the big thing about this technology stuff is, I was talking to I don't remember who it was. Might have been Chris, my brother. But we were talking one day, and we were just talking about like with our kids. I mean, obviously, we couldn't hunt till we were 12.
Right.
And we could go along, but we couldn't hunt till we were 12. Well, now these kids can hunt at whatever age. Lily killed her first turkey at 9, maybe. We were out at 8. She almost killed her first turkey at 8. 8.
Think about it.
But we try to make everything so perfect. We give them a rep. We make them comfortable. We, but then like when you're in the woods and you got to make something, it's not a script. Yeah. They do what they do, and you have to make something happen. And even like rabbit hunting, it's so hard to get a kid, a 9-year-old on a rabbit to see it,
quick.
Be able to get on, and they're sitting there, but they can't see them, and the beagles are coming, and you got it, but it's hard. But you try to make everything so perfect that it's hard to know that they can do what it takes sometimes to make it happen in that moment when things don't go perfect. Yeah. And I think that's where, as a kid, we were out with BB guns. We were out with our bow. Like, we were having to stalk up on that rabbit to bounce an arrow off of it. We were having to, you're flushing Tweety birds, whatever you're hunting with. Like, you learn some things that you don't think about. But, like, we learned how to do some things that now,
some stuff's caught, not taught.
Yeah, yep. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I feel like I've noticed that we were just talking about, like, as a dad, I try to make everything as easy and as perfect as possible. You want to be successful. But I wonder, if maybe, I did it a little wrong, because, but Lily's bird in Maryland last year, she did a fantastic. She did exactly like it wasn't on a rest. It was great. So
they're having success, and as long as they keep going out,
Having fun.
Wanting to spend that time with dad, that's what's important.
Yeah,
right?
and that's great. That's great as as a family, and making more people that want to do it.
Yeah. Your dad tells a story of his one buddy that set his boys up, got them going, made it so easy that they didn't want to hunt anymore. You know that story? Well, one of his hunting buddies or his buddies growing up, he set it up, did all the scouting, deer hunting, and everything, and the kids went out and shot a nice buck on the first time ever going out. And they're like, "There's nothing to it. I don't."
It's got to be a good balance. You got to find.
So they don't hunt because they didn't think there was no challenge to it. So,
And I think they get used to that. This is hunting. This is hunting. We'll go out. We just sit, and that's exactly what we're talking about. You want them to be successful, but like you need them to understand too that we're out here doing what we came to do to get something that's fun.
you mentioned it earlier. If you got a pond with bass in it, you're going to love bass fishing.
Yep.
And if you got a good hunting spot where the deer come out, you're going to love deer hunting.
Yep.
And so some of us, we're a product of our environment to some degree. I know there's a lot of guys out there like hunting. Location is at a premium. Not everybody has the time off of work or the property to go hunt. And public hunting, it seems to be like a popular thing. Hunting public's gone out and has made it cool. And there are people going out that hunt public land. But I grew up and you wanted to know somebody, or that private land comes at a premium. But anyway, so as we talk about like the childhood, take me back to your start in turkey hunting, and let's get into talking turkeys. The spring's coming, we're all starting to get the itch, and we all started somewhere, So how did it start for you?
So honestly, we raised turkeys when I was a kid. And
Really?
I just loved it. I go out and sit out there with them. I just always enjoyed it. And I mean, honestly, hunting. I'm trying to think. I don't think I really started turkey hunting when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like we did maybe a little bit of hunting here and there, but really high school is where I kind of started turkey hunting. And I mean, I didn't kill a turkey until my first year out of high school. It would have been, I guess, the next spring after I graduated. I was doing, the little bit of college I did before I wanted to stop digging a hole and make some money.
Sure. Yeah.
But I remember sitting in the blind doing schoolwork. When I did the morning I killed my turkey and there was nothing gobbling, I was like, well, this is a bummer, but I mean, no better place to do some work. And I was sitting there and all of a sudden the decoy was a game. Turkey, and that was the first turkey I ever killed in the spring.
Isn't it? So we've had this conversation before. What do you prefer? You prefer to, that animal, that prey that you're after just appears out of nowhere and all of a sudden, like, sort of catches you off guard? Or would you prefer, seeing it come in 100, 200 yards out?
2 hours earlier.
It's on its way versus that animal just jumping out from behind a tree and, oh, all right, there's the bird.
I mean, probably at that moment on that day, I see him, I want to come at. But like if I think back some stuff, you have those hunts where you see, I killed a bird in Missouri that I saw an hour and a half before I killed it. And the whole story would be as full of fun if it hadn't happened the way it happened. Right. The biggest buck I've ever killed. He walked down with a doe, and my buddy saw him literally 3/4 of a mile around that. And he came up onto the ridge, but I mean, what a chance.
You're right.
And he came in and I shot him, and like that, it adds to the story. Had I not known that part, it just would have been, there was a big buck and killed it, and it would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'd have been like, but it adds to the story. So it all depends. For turkeys, I love to know they're around. It's we talked about it the one day. You can be hunting and there can be a bird a quarter mile away, and you maybe know he's there, and you foolishly think, "I'm killing turkey."
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Get excited.
Sound closer than they actually
Deer.
are.
There can be 10 of the biggest bucks you've ever seen 150 yards away. If you can't see them, you have no idea, and you've seen nothing all day, so you're kind of like,
Yep.
man,
You can get dejected sometimes.
Yeah.
It's, well, man,
I
I
wanna
appreciate
know
you
too.
coming on. For you guys that are listening, I think that's a wrap tonight. We will we'll get this edited and posted, and you can always catch us at Tracks and Tackle on Instagram, or you can also follow us at Menser Outdoors. We are on Instagram. We're on YouTube. You can probably find us somewhere else on Facebook and other places. But you can get us anywhere you find podcasts. We appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to us, and always remember, stay wild.